week 2 of my Metamorphosis Recovery Challenge. Quick review of my goals this week. I wanted to wake up every day by 8 a.m. and do 3 carefully defined routines: the morning routine, the self-care routine, and the first focus hour. I explained these ad nauseum in my first video about the series. However, I do need to make a little bit of a change to my morning routine. The problem is, after my meds were adjusted recently, a bunch of them need to be taken with food. I've had this nagging concern that I've had take pills followed by quick tidy, followed only then by the morning smoothie, which means that there's this at least 10-minute gap, maybe 15-minute gap if you count the time it makes to get the smoothie together, where I've taken my pills, but it's not with food. So we're fixing that. We're just taking the making of the smoothie and we're moving it up the list a little bit so that it happens just before I take the pills. Much better. Continuing on. I'm aiming for 2 20-minute stretch sessions per day. Stretch sessions per day. 2 hours apart. So I can't just do one 40-minute block and call both 20 minutes good. They gotta be apart from each other. And my dog Versailles practices the pivot trick, which is a back-end awareness exercise, every single day. For my weekly goals, 3 30-minute workouts, at least 4 days during this week that I get 8,000 steps in the day. I wanted to get a pedicure. I wanted to visit the Vault 13 Fallout-themed cafe in Beaverton, and I wanted to go blueberry picking. Before we dive too deeply into the week, I received some viewer questions and feedback. By far, the number one question that I got was, how does Versailles react to fireworks? On all of her past 4th of Julys, she has just slept through the fireworks, but this year she actually got to see some. She had questions, but no fear. It's not something that I trained. Poodles are gun dogs. They're very commonly just not that interested in fireworks. The other question that I got was, why am I not featuring my bullet journals in these videos? I assume that the person who was saying this was talking about this particular setup that I did. This was for quarter 2. I did every piece of this setup by hand. It was done in marker and colored pencil. All of these pages were blank before I put something on them. There's no part of this that is pre-printed. If this type of planner content is of interest to folks, one, I think there's quite a bit of it on YouTube already, but I'm happy to contribute more. I just don't think it's part of this particular series. Thank you to everyone who sent in feedback. I really love knowing that people are actually watching these videos and engaging with them. Stay tuned to see how Versailles and I did, and I'll meet you at the end to talk about our week 3 goals. It is late afternoon on day 1 of week 2, and I am trying my day for a second time. This morning was sort of pandemonium in the wee hours of the morning. Apparently a bird flew into the nearby power station and the whole neighborhood lost power. I don't know if you know this, but when electric cars lose power from their plug unexpectedly, they throw a huge tantrum. So there were just car alarms going off everywhere, including in our driveway right next to my bedroom. So I had a pretty rude awakening while it was still dark out and had some trouble getting back to sleep. And it's been a rocky day since. I completely blew that 8 a.m. wake up. It was closer to 8:30 when I got out of bed, and that's fine, I guess. I dragged myself through the first 2 routines of the day. I did not have the energy for any kind of workout or stretch. I reserved all of that energy to get some very necessary work done. I made sure the dog got her walk, and I went back to bed. There was no other way of doing things. That was just how it had to be today. So it's a little after 4 now, and I am going to try to pick up where I left off. It's time for stretching, and since it's week 2, we're doing 20 minutes of stretching instead of 15 minutes. I was setting up for my stretch, and the dog came and asked me if she could actually go first. So, of course, we set up for her instead. We had a little bit of a snag at the start. She decided to showcase how much of a poodle she is by rejecting full-on dried chicken. She rejected bison treats. Apparently what she wanted was cheese. I accommodated her request and chopped up some cheese for her. By the middle of the training session, after she'd gotten her appetite up with that cheese, she was willing to accept both bison and dried chicken. I love this dog, you guys. It's not that she's spoiled, it's that she has opinions and she knows her worth. This week she's learning to pivot. The main point of this is an exercise in back end awareness. Dogs usually don't think very much about their hindquarters, their back legs. They usually, move their front and the back follows. So I was using this bowl to give her a target to keep her front paws on. She figured out really quick that that's what I wanted. And then the idea was to get her to step her back legs around to move herself without moving those front paws. It took her a little bit to get the idea of what I wanted there. You can see that she's putting herself into a heel position pretty frequently. That's not something I was asking her for, that's just her best guess or what she felt most comfortable with. By the 5-minute mark, she was doing almost quarter pivots, and then at 10 minutes, she did a full half circle with her hindquarters, which was very impressive progress. I was really happy with this progress for her. It is full-on evening now, and I am just starting my first focus hour, but I needed that nap. I think I'm going to try to get that second stretch in right before bed, and that should be it for a fairly quiet day 1 of week 2. You guys, we forgot something important. It's the start of a new week, which means I get to pull a free self-care card. The importance of these was so thoroughly illustrated last week. I have my fingers and toes crossed for something that gives me a really solid break. Yes, thank you. This is the one that I needed. I got the second rest day card out of the deck. I am so happy to have another one of these in my hand. After my evening stretch, I realized that I was all the way at 7,000 steps, so I just paced back and forth for about 10 minutes to get my count all the way up to 8,000 steps.
Are you staring at me? Do you see no reason why I am still not in bed, even though it is only 8 o'clock? Do you feel that we should have an early night? You're probably not wrong.
Hello from the afternoon of day 2. I've been moving pretty slowly today, but I have steadily been accomplishing things. After my morning routine and the morning training, I did get a workout in. This was once again a dance workout with the fitness marshal. The workouts felt relatively easy cardio-wise last week. They were uncomfortable because of the injury and the sutures, but I felt like I could physically do them. For some reason today, within the first 3 minutes, the very first song, I knew I was in trouble. I was just immediately out of breath. I was overheating. I was uncomfortable. My heart was just pounding. It wasn't like it was a more difficult workout than last week or anything. At least not at that 3-minute part, but I had committed to do 30 minutes instead of 20 minutes. I'll tell you, when I hit 20 minutes, I did feel like, oh, that must be it. I must be done now, because last week, 20 minutes was the goal, but alas, there was another 10 minutes. And I made it through, but it was tough. Since I had 20 minutes instead of 15 minutes for my stretch, I tried a little bit more mobility techniques instead of just static stretching this time around. That was a nice enough change. Like I said, I've been moving really slowly today. I did manage the first focus hour, but not in one sitting. I had to do half an hour, take a break, and then do another half hour. That's not normally how I would ever do it, but it's just what needed to happen today. So I let it, and we're counting it. I have actually managed to get some actual work done today outside of the routines of this challenge. That's not always true for me, at least at this point in my recovery, so I've been very happy. I just got up from a rest. I think I might try walking on my walking pad for a little bit, see how that feels. And then afterward, for the first time in my recovery, I'm going to a friend's house. Previously, if I saw anyone, they came to me because I just wasn't sure if I was going to have the energy to make it home again after going somewhere. So this is a big step. It just so happens that these particular friends are also the owners of Versailles' possibly best friend in the entire world, so she will also be going with me and having a play date. I'm going to have to be really cautious not to stay for too long. I don't want to be too tired to get home safely, so I'm really going to have to keep a close eye on my energy. I think the last thing that I'll need to do today when I get back is my evening stretch. I may or may not also do Versailles' evening training session. That is going to be heavily up to her and what she feels her energy levels are after this visit. I'm pretty excited. This is a big step for me. I have arranged for another blueberry picking buddy tomorrow. As soon as I announced that I wanted to go blueberry picking, I now have like a waiting list of friends who want to come with me, blueberry pick for themselves, and help me carry the heavy bucket. So looks like I have a blueberry summer ahead of me. I actually got up nice and early today with plenty of time to do my morning routine, my morning stretch, and my self-care block before my friend came to pick me up and we went blueberry picking. It was a beautiful sunny day and the berries were delicious. Afterward, we went out for lunch and just kind of hung out, and it was really nice. Predictably, I was completely spent by the time we got back, and I went to bed for several hours. At this point, I'm just sort of accepting that going to bed for several hours is part of my new normal for the moment. It's now late afternoon on Wednesday, and I am going to try to get a few hours of work done. I've arranged with a buddy to go with me to try the Fallout Cafe later on in the week, hoping to fit in that pedicure sometime around then. We're in pretty good shape for the week so far. Things are actually going so well that I think I may try pulling another challenge card. Okay, ready? Challenge card. Up and away. This just says that I need to add some incline to my walking pad for 30 minutes, and it does say that I can do that non-consecutively if that proves a little too difficult to do all at once. I have to do a bunch of admin work today, so I may be able to do this at the same time if I set up my walking pad now. So I got some work done, finally. Afterward, I took the dog for a walk. It was still a lovely day out. We had a very nice time. And on that walk, I hit not just 8,000 steps, but when I got back, I'm a few hundred steps away from hitting 10,000 steps for the day. I think I'm going to crack that ceiling just by finishing my evening routine. So that's very exciting. Speaking of exciting, the dog not only did full rotations for me tonight during her training, with her paws on the target, I was able to take the target away, and she was still doing a pretty good job at pivoting. So long as she stayed in that heel position, she seemed pretty comfortable with doing what I was asking of her. We'll continue to work on it and clean it up and reinforce it over the rest of the week, but I'm really happy with her progress so far. I think I'm gonna go stretch and get ready for bed. Wait, no, I'm not. I completed a challenge card. I get to pull a reward card or a self-care card. I'm actually pretty happy with the self-care cards I have in my hand right now, so I think we're gonna pull something from the reward deck for the first time. Yes! I got ice cream. Go get a 2-scoop ice cream cone. I know a lot of my cards have something to do with ice cream or frozen yogurt, but that's because those things are awesome. It's a little late in the day for me to redeem this one tonight, but I'm looking forward to it. I believe it's day 11 of our challenge. I woke up at 7:57 a.m., accomplishing that 8 a.m. wake-up goal by the skin of my teeth. After the basic morning routine, it was another exercise day. It was a leg day. I followed a video that I found on YouTube. I did it completely without weights. It was definitely a workout. The workout was really difficult, but the most difficult, the most challenging part was the mindset game. In the before times, before cancer, I would not only have done this workout pretty easily, I would have done it holding heavy, heavy weights. I'm not cleared to pick up any weights at the moment, but I also couldn't do it if I wanted to, I don't think. It kind of kicked my butt, but I did do it. I did do the workout. Despite how hard it was, I did do it. So I'm proud of that. I got my stretch in immediately afterward and proceeded on to the self-care routine. After a little bit of a rest, I did a number of chores and some work. In the mid-afternoon, I took a break to do training with the dog. Today went so well. Not only is she pretty smoothly pivoting around her front paws now, I was able to remove the treats from the hand that was guiding her.
Okay, you don't want a break, huh? You want to keep working? Okay, we can work some more.
She has enough of an understanding of what's wanted for this trick that she will perform it without being lured around by her nose. She actually is participating. We also tried a few times without her front paw target. It does get a little bit more wobbly, but it's clear to me she does understand what I want from her here. This is great rapid progress for a trick. Most intermediate and advanced skills are not learned in a day or two. It can take days or weeks and sometimes even months for dogs to build up the behavior chain and understand what you're trying to get them to do, since you can't necessarily describe it to them. But we are rapidly approaching the polish stage on this particular trick. In between breaks and rests and little chores, I've gotten a pretty good amount of work done today. This is the first day of week 2 where I'm not even going to come close to hitting that 8,000 step goal, but that's okay because we only need one more day where we do hit it. I'm trying to take today really easy because yesterday had a big fun outing, the night before it had a fun outing, and tomorrow I have a fun outing. And all of those things make pretty intense demands on my limited energy reserves. So I'm trying to have a pretty low key, mostly sitting down day today, after the morning's workout anyway. Although I've had to take some breaks, I haven't actually had to nap today, at least so far, knock on wood. The last thing for the challenge today is the evening stretch, and that's it.
Have you pinned me to the bed? Is it bedtime, according to you?
Oh, okay, you're right, no more. For some reason, my first little vlog recording of the day didn't include any sound, so I'm just gonna try real quick to summarize. I got up, I did my stretch routine, and then discovered that my left knee hurt really bad. It kind of sucked to walk on, it sucked even more to stretch with. After my self-care routine, I realized I didn't have the time for a focus hour, but it still wasn't time to leave for my outing, so I made this brilliant decision that I would attempt that whole at-home blowout thing again from last week, and that was a decision that I made. Here is how that went. Oh my god, why? No, come on, get out. Oh my god, it keeps getting stuck. What is this? How am I supposed to? God, it keeps getting stuck. What is this supposed to be like? That is a swoosh. No, get off. What are you doing? I know I should be doing smaller pieces, but I'm so bored of this, I want it to be over. Whatever. Is that anything? No, it's not anything. Bows hide all sins. Here is a fit check for my going out outfit. The outing was really nice. I enjoyed it a lot. The Vault 13 Cafe is quite small. Apparently the owners have been collecting Fallout merchandise for many, many years, both official stuff and fan-made stuff, and they put it all into this cafe. The big question that I had for them was, how? Did you purchase a license from Bethesda to use this copyrighted imagery? Are you just small enough that they don't care? Very informative lady behind the counter told me that they just kind of did it and then asked for forgiveness later, and that Bethesda was quite cool about it, actually. Apparently, the only thing that their lawyers really asked of them was that they needed to change the logo. They said that they were in the process, that they had the new logo. I guess it's been approved for their use. They said the new one is already on the website. You can see their original logo and the new logo. I think those little color changes are doing a lot of work there. Honestly, I think they could just take down their sign and repaint exactly what they already have, shape-wise, and it would match. So I guess good work. It was really fun to look at all of the artwork in the space. They had some board games there. They even had some books. So I guess if you went to the cafe to read by yourself, but you forgot to bring your book, they are prepared for you. The only thing that felt a little weird and a little off was that aside from Fallout, the other biggest theme in decor was Bitcoin. That felt sort of weird and sort of sus to me. I didn't like that vibe. The food was surprisingly good. Apparently most of the food that they make in-house there actually comes from the official Fallout cookbook, including this mini perfectly preserved pie, which is actually a cheesecake with a cinnamon strawberry syrup on top. That was really nice. The thing that hit the hardest for me was a cinnamon croissant. It was so obviously made that day with real butter and just perfectly flaky, and I thought it would just have just like a of cinnamon on top. I ate it so fast that I forgot to get any kind of picture of it, so just imagine an empty plate covered in crumbs, and that was it. It looked like they had a bunch of kind of creative coffee drinks, but I am not a coffee drinker, and the person I was there with was also not a coffee drinker, so I guess you're gonna have to do your own field trip to find out if you like their coffee. Once we were done at the cafe, we just went around the corner, literally like a 60-second walk, if that, to a place called Unique Nails. I'm often very nervous about trying a new nail place. The quality can be very hit or miss. Sometimes they're very expensive and the experience you pay for it's not worth experiencing. I was pleasantly surprised. It was a very pretty place. The aesthetics were on point. I had a lovely hot stone massage. I would go again. I would for sure go again. Thank you, Unique Nails. I usually just pick like a matte toenail color because I know it's gonna have to last for a long time and go with a bunch of different outfits. I just don't do my toes that often. But as soon as I walked in the door, there was a very small human who immediately turned to me and just started showing me all of the sparkle nail polishes that he had collected and explaining to me the names and power sets of all the superheroes and villains that he, I guess, had come up with based on the different colors of sparkles that were in each of the nail polishes. He was such a convincing and creative salesman that he convinced me to put back the matte pink that I had picked out and get something in sparkles instead. He did kind of approve of the color that I picked, although he did tell me that he would prefer that I get this bright red that represented a hero called Bloodman, or he wanted me to get this super neon green. I think the character's name was Toxic Guy or something like that. I didn't think that I have enough outfits that would match the superhero set of Bloodman and Toxic Guy, so alas, I had to settle for this kind of pinky diamond glittery color. They had us in those massage chairs for well over an hour, and I am pretty certain they didn't charge us full price for the level of pedicure that they gave us. I don't know if this was a special customer discount that that very smart 5-year-old was able to give people or something, but honestly, I'd recommend it. Great experience, would go again. Afterward, I was so hypnotized by my own toes. I am so not used to them being that sparkly that whenever we walked outside in the sunshine, I was at serious danger of running into things because I could not stop looking at my toesy-woesies. I was having a nice time. I wanted to keep going, but I could also feel my energy levels steadily dropping by that point. It is astonishing how much energy just existing, how much energy just sitting in a chair takes at the moment. So I called it there, and I ended up just sitting in my car for like a good 10 minutes afterward, just kind of slumped over the steering wheel, summoning the will to take myself home. I've had a little rest now. I am strongly considering cashing in that 2 scoops of ice cream reward card that I got the other day. I think that would be a really nice way to cap off this day. Oh, my knee's feeling a little bit better after that like hour of massaging they gave me at Unique Nails, so thank you. I've never had a knee repair done as part of a pedicure, but it seems to have worked. Now that I had my toes done, I'm starting to think, God, it's been like a year since I've had my eyebrows done. It's been pretty much a year since the last time I had my hair even trimmed, to say nothing of colored. It's probably time that I got on top of all of that maintenance. Especially going for a long sitting at a hair salon feels like so much energy. All right, fine. I'll make some calls. I'll do the appointments. Gotta do something about this today, right? I was going to go get ice cream and maybe pick up some groceries so I can eat non-ice cream food at some point. But I just had to spend an hour fighting botnet attacks on my various websites, so that was super fun. I love the current state of the internet. So now I'm like double, triple going to go get ice cream.
I'm on my way to ice cream, I swear, but I just stopped to give a lady $15 so she would rip hair out of my eyebrows. I love you, my good girl.
After a very successful bit of training, I decided that we would do an enrichment activity called the Tear Up Box. I just collect whatever cardboard boxes are generated by the household for a few weeks, and then when we have enough, I will put some treats in the smallest box, and then I will put that box inside a box, and that box inside a box, and that box inside a box, and that box inside a box, basically until I just run out of boxes that I can fit the thing I'm working with into, and then her job is to get to the delicious treats at the center. She is notoriously soft-mouthed. She doesn't do any damage to any of the toys that she's had. She has a lot of toys from when she was a teeny tiny puppy. This activity is clearly very engaging for her, but I think she does find it very exhausting. You're my good girl. Yes, you are a good girl. Whenever we're walking and I see someone coming, I call her back to heel, just in case whoever it is afraid of dogs. I want them to see that she knows her stuff and she won't bother them unless invited. And my favorite thing is sometimes I just overhear people saying things like, wow, that dog is so well trained, or wow, that dog is really under control. Thank you. And then the last thing left to complete my day was the stretch. It went pretty well and it was a nice way to wind down. I was really feeling it. I was super ready for bed at this point. Y'all, I am on the struggle bus today. If this is TMI, then 1, I'm not really sure what you're doing watching this video, but also 2, go ahead and skip ahead a bit now. I have not had a real period in well over a decade at this point in my life due to wonderful magical advances in modern medicine that created some perfect little pills. But when you have had HER2 positive breast cancer, you're not supposed to take the magic pills anymore. They gave me some estrogen suppressing pills, and there was some talk that maybe those would cause an early menopause and I would not be having any periods, but I guess they didn't do that. Anyway, my uterus is trying to kill me. I am tired. I feel like I have a fever, but I know that's just what used to happen when I'd get a cycle. It is about 3 in the afternoon now, and I have more or less completed my morning routine. Oh yeah, and I got out of bed at 8:30 a.m. this morning. I have tried repeatedly to nap, but there was cramping. It was not to be. Anyway, I'm gonna try this dance workout now, I guess, in the vain hope that movement helps. And if it doesn't help, it's probably not going to be worse. I should have saved that ice cream card for today, shouldn't I? I should have saved that ice cream card for today. I want ice cream for dinner. I want ice cream for dinner. I've pulled up some kind of 30-minute Latin dance workout on YouTube, and maybe this is going to happen. We're gonna see. I'm great at YouTube. Look at how put together I am. That experience is over now. It is now somehow nearly 5 p.m., and as soon as I get the energy up, I am going to take my morning shower. We're doing great here. This is gonna get me 1,000,000 views! I'm clean. I'm in a new dress. It's cute. And I did a focus hour. It was mediocre, but it did happen. I'm gonna have fried food for dinner. Don't try to stop me. I can't be stopped. French fries. Hello. Can I get a 2-piece chicken strip basket and a small chocolate malt? I'm lying. Can it be a large chocolate malt? Don't judge me.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god!
Fried food, fried food, fried food, fried food!
Yes, there you go. Keep going, yes, very good. Yes, round we go. Keep going, yes. On the spot, please, on the spot. There you go, that's what I wanted. Close. Yes, keep going, on the spot. Beautifully done. All the way around. Yes, I saw you bumped your butt. It's fine. Yes. Okay, we're pivoting. All right, let's pivot. Yeah, beautiful.
I had my feral goblin day yesterday, as it was written in the ancient texts. It was important. I would kind of like to have another one again today, but today is not about me. Today is about young Mistress Versailles. It's Sunday, and that is usually when Versailles has class. This is not really a class you can find on the schedule. This is just a group of dog moms who all have really intense dogs who love learning. All of our dogs have blown through all of the available classes on the schedule at the facilities available to us. So now once a week, we basically just rent the PetSmart classroom. They let us use their equipment. The instructor is there for insurance purposes. He mostly just catches up on his paperwork and smiles at us, which is honestly very nice. We like him a lot. The dogs like him a lot. Last week, the classroom was not available because too many people were off for the 4th of July. But we're back on this week. I try so hard to make sure that if I am at all physically able, hi honey, she doesn't play very much with the other dogs there, and they don't really play very much with each other. They all like each other, but they are so clear that they are there to work. This classroom used to be right next to where I live. Since I'm staying with my family now while I recover from cancer, it is quite a drive. We could have joined a different class, but this is the one that she loves, so this is the one that we're going back to. So she is going to have a good, solid, usually about an hour and a half. Technically, we're only renting the space for an hour, but the instructor who is there to monitor us really encourages us to stay almost as long as we want. Usually by an hour and a half, the dogs are toast. They are ready to go. That is a lot of time to be working your doggy brain and doing high intensity tricks. She keeps checking to see if I'm ready to go yet. Even if I were, it's way too early to leave. I got up really late this morning. I didn't even try for that 8 a.m. wake up. I felt too yucky. But I did get my morning stretch in. I did do the morning routine. I did get to do my self-care routine. So we are more or less on track. I am going to count her class today as pivot training. I'm bringing the bowl target that we've been working with I think we got through this week with flying colors, except for the wake-up time. We darn near 100%ed this thing. Does that mean that it's too easy? Maybe. It didn't feel easy. The other thing that I am supposed to do today is a whole bunch of batch cooking so that I have healthy meals to eat for the next few weeks. We'll see. The last few times that I have taken her to this class, and really I think it's only happened a couple of times since starting to recover from the surgeries, I have needed some crazy naps upon getting home. The other thing that absolutely must happen today is that we need to talk about how this challenge will look in week 3. Baby, don't cry. We'll leave soon. I'm putting my shoes and socks on. Please don't cry. I'm going. I know you're excited, honey. I'm excited too. Yeah, I love class. Not as much as you love class, but I love class too. Oh my God, do I have to start packing tampons again? It's okay. Mommy's okay. Do you want to put your paws up? Yeah. Okay, off.
Are you excited? Is Mommy driving you to class?
Class went great. She did such a good job. She had such a good time. I had a really good time. We were both very tired by the end. We came home and took a rest together. I could still use a rest, to be honest, but I am going to knock out my focus hour and get my stretch in because tonight I am watching a Buffy the Vampire Slayer marathon with a friend of mine. What could be more healing and restful than that? I ask you. We've done really well with our challenge this week. Other than sometimes waking up too late, we 100%ed the challenge this week. I'm happy but tired. So we need to talk about what next week will look like. I think we're keeping the 2 20-minute stretch sessions at least 2 hours apart. That's been really successful. I'm going to bump up the 8K steps. We're going to go all the way up to 10K steps. But I'm still keeping it as just 4 days as the goal. We're going from 3 30-minute workouts to 4 30-minute workouts. I'm really trying to push myself a little bit here. I'm really trying to accelerate my recovery where I can. And if it's too hard, I have all these self-care cards still in my hand, ready to go, ready to catch me if I fall. What will the dogs challenge be next week? I think we are ready to move on from pivot. That's just polish stage at this point. She's absolutely throwing her butt around in a circle around that little bowl target. At the risk of frustrating myself to death, I think we're going to work on the hold trick next week, where she just holds an object in her mouth that she is handed. I have been trying to get her to learn this trick on and off for literally years now. I keep having to give up. I keep having to take breaks from trying to teach this trick to her because I find it so frustrating. I am willing to be very, very patient. I have gone through processes of teaching tricks that took literally months to build up the behavior chain. It's not that I'm not willing to do slow incremental progress while doing dog training. That's the whole game. That's the whole ball game. I get it. She has a different agenda on this one. She doesn't appear to want to learn the hold trick because she taught herself a throw trick, and she seems to find that so interesting and engaging. Her other objection to hold, historically, has been she can't receive the treat for her good work if there's something in her mouth. So the moment you hand her something, she will take it and then throw it as hard as she can, as fast as she can, so that it's not in her mouth, blocking the way for good treats. But I keep coming back to this trick because it is so foundational for so many other tricks. It's part of a whole bunch of behavior chains that I want to teach in the future, but I can't do any of them until we finally get hold. The last time we worked on it, we made some progress, but then she went right back to throwing, and I couldn't anymore. I had glimpsed what this training process was supposed to look like, and then it was snatched away again. So no promises, but we're gonna try it. It may just be a bunch of footage of the dogs snatching things from me and throwing it. Most of the time what she wants to be is a very, very good and talented girl, and sometimes what she wants to be is a chaos goblin. Girl, same. For my fun goals this week, I want to try candle making as a hobby. I burn a candle every day as part of my first focus hour routine, and I find it really difficult to find ones that smell nice and that aren't petroleum-based. Now there's one more big goal for week 3. I have tickets to a Wine and Whimsy event that was sold to me as a chance to really, really dress up, a chance to wear that dress you can never find a reason to wear. It's women only, they're gonna have a bloom bar. I'm not totally sure what to expect, but it could be pretty fun. It could also be a little bit much for me. I purchased these tickets about a month ago thinking, oh, surely I will be fully healed by then. Lo and behold, I still have not even received clearance to start my physical therapy. So attending the Whimsy Night event has some sub-goals in it, which include figuring out what the heck I'm even gonna wear. What do they mean by whimsy? Because I could go really hard in the fairy princess category, but what if they're all wearing cocktail dresses when I get there? Oh, then I win. That's what happens, then I win. I guess that solves that. Thank you so much for being here with me during my recovery challenge. I hope you've also had a productive and healing week. See you next week.